pink it was with a purple hat.
Oh, I remember it, yeah.
Oh, hello. Looks like you joined us again for another episode of Two Grumpy Retro Gamers. Last week we were at Cannon Fodder on another in Mega Drive, of course.
Yeah.
This week we're taking a bit of a leap to 2001 with Microsoft, the original Xbox, big hunky chunk of plastic. It's a big heavy machine, isn't it?
It is a heavy woman, certainly.
Yeah, it's the first time covering Microsoft, so it's only fitting that we cover Halo, which is the launch game and probably one of the best games on the Xbox.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
I'm Pistol Whipped Michael Langerbeer.
And I'm Grunt at the front, Forbes London. Welcome to Two Grumpy Retro Gamers. As Mike said, looking at the Microsoft Xbox today, our first episode with this console. It's hard to believe that we've got to 12 episodes and this is our first neighbourhood stroll with the Microsoft Xbox. Fantastic piece of kit. And yeah, so looking at Halo today, a game that's released originally in the United States for launch day, as Mike said there, November 15th, 2001 in North America, and it came over here for March the 14th of 2002 in PAL regions. Didn't get a Japanese release. No, missed out on it. I should imagine it's probably something to do with Bill Gates and an infamous poster of him holding the hamburger and the controller S as the advertising campaign for the Xbox back in the day. Didn't go down too well with the Japanese at all.
No. It's like a recall it though.
Yeah, definitely. Oh. I didn't get the humour, but I don't even eat hamburgers. But I do play games, so in one hand, out the other. There we go. Right. Let's chat. Let's have a talk.
We're chatting about the console, we're chatting about the game, what we're chatting about?
Well, this is usually the part of the show that you cover, the chat about the console.
The console.
You give us a bit of info.
Well, as we know, came out in November 2001?
2001, yeah.
2001, yeah. So I was a bit confused then. But it did cease manufacturing in 2005.
Oh, right.
It's not a really long time, is it?
No, not really. I think the Xbox has a very sort of small lifespan considering most consoles nowadays. Nowadays you'd expect to get sort of 6, 7, 8 years out of a life cycle of continuous support. Now the Xbox, for reasons which we'll probably cover a little bit later, the Xbox was killed off quite early on in life cycle. Japan had a lot to do with it, but also agreements between component manufacturers was also cited as a problem with the machine. I mean, fun piece of trivia for you. Do you know what the last game for this machine was?
No, tell me.
That came out? Madden 2009.
Right.
Now, if you know your sports games, they're always a year ahead of when they actually release. So that would put Madden 09 coming out in 2008.
Yeah.
Now, the Xbox hadn't had a release since about early 2007. So why on earth Electronic Arts decided to release a game for it in 2008 is anyone's guess.
It's a bit ridiculous. I mean, obviously they kept saying to 2009, probably because they had so many systems. We'll have to keep saying them. If they're not making the console anymore, you won't make the game, would you?
Very silly, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, EA are very much supporters of releasing FIFA games for legacy systems continuously once they've hit their shelf life. But for them to come out with a game 12-18 months after the last support for the machine is ridiculous. Anyway, we're not really here to talk about the Xbox. We're here to talk about Halo.
That's true.
Now, this game released by Bungie. Published by Microsoft Game Studios. Now, a few bits of personnel on this. You had Jason Jones, who was the director of the game with Bungie. You had John Howard, who was the designer of the game, and you also had Marcus Leto, I think he was called, who was the artist for the game.
Oh, right.
So it's 3 key figures working within Bungie, making this sort of game possible, and spearheading what is widely regarded as one of the best games of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really fair. We've already covered a game that was one of the best games of all time, Crash Bandicoot 3.
Crash Bandicoot, yeah.
Yeah, and now we're coming back again into that.
Well, we don't really have a choice. I mean, we chose Crazy Taxi 3 to play on the Xbox first, but obviously we just thought, when you see Crazy Taxi, you think Dreamcast.
You think Dreamcast, straight
so
away.
we thought we'd leave that for that, and we came across Halo. It was no option really. We had to do it.
Yeah. So, as you rightly said there, that we try and pick games that are going to be well known on the format that they're on. Crazy Taxi, not so much well known on the Xbox. We might cover Crazy Taxi 3 in an episode like far, far into the future.
Yeah.
Not yet, definitely not. So, who's playing this? Are you playing this?
I could play it.
Yeah, go on.
I love playing it.
Right, we've skipped over the what's really seen as a training mission. So where you're on the ship itself, we're actually at the crash landing point. So we wanted to just show you a little more open area and how good the graphics have held up in this.
You don't know graphics until you hit that sunlight outside.
No, absolutely.
So,
You delve in and show us what you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, okay, so it's quite atmospheric as it builds up anyway to begin with. You'll have to excuse the slight blue tinge that we've got to our hardware here. We're actually using the advanced SCART cable, which has played havoc with the Two Grumpy Retro Gamers tester TV. So you can see there's a lot going on already in the level here. You've got diversity of trees, grass. If Mike looks down at the floor, I think, where the grass patches are, you can actually see that the grass is quite well modelled as well, which was quite a new thing back when this game was released, having the such textured details on the floor. Once you get later weapons like the assault rifle,
I got the assault rifle. I like using the pistol.
Yeah, you do. Maybe it's harking back to the GoldenEye days.
Maybe.
Yeah, GoldenEye episode you can catch on our YouTube channel. So once you switch over to the assault rifle, it actually has your bullet count on the back of the rifle, which is pretty darn cool. Okay, so you've got quite a lot of detail going on here. Like I said, the trees, foliage and all that lot, waterfalls. But yeah, basically, I think that this game is quite a pioneer for first-person shooters in general, being that this is very, very story-driven. Unlike predecessors like Half-Life and first-person shooters like that, you didn't really have character-driven story, really, where you felt like you had people working with you. You really felt for the soldiers that were in this game. You wanted to keep them alive as long as possible. I don't know whether you were the same as me with that. You just wanted to keep them alive.
They get replaced easily.
Well, I just wanted some company with me. And these good Australian soldiers that were with us.
It does help if you was to get like a jeep or stuff and somebody can jump on a gun. Or never let them drive.
No, because
rather shut driving.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous they are. So the AI is a little bit flaky at best.
Yeah, always flip over and so on. It's horrible.
Now this game sold 5 million copies in its time on the market, and that's just on the original Xbox alone. That's not taking into account the anniversary edition on the 360 or the PC versions and Mac versions, which followed a little bit later. So you had the PC and Mac versions that came out in 2003, and I believe in 2004 you had the Halo Custom Edition, which allowed for custom mods like the maps and stuff like that, and that was ported by Gearbox Software, who actually had a hand in Half-Life as well.
Cool.
So that's quite a turn of events.
Yeah, definitely. It's when you come into the sunlight. I mean, look at the screen.
Yeah.
It's very colourful. And one thing we got excited for when you got this game, it was the water, wasn't it? The water effects.
Yeah, the water effects. The original Xbox was fantastic water effects. Do you remember another game that used to be really good with water?
What, a retro game?
On the Xbox.
Xbox. No, I can't remember.
Elder Scrolls Morrowind.
Oh,
Water effects are brilliant. And also the Pirates of the Caribbean game, which Bethesda published as well, was the water was absolutely fantastic in that game as well. But what's interesting about this game is the multiplayer was before Xbox Live.
Yeah.
So you either had the option of playing counter-operatively with your friends, up to 4 players. There was no bots. So yeah, you had either local or LAN play, which I remember having many LAN parties with this game. Did you ever come to those?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty cool back in the day.
So it's lucky it's got the 4-point though, isn't it? And it's lucky it hasn't got the multimedia or anything like that.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Ideal.
Worked out quite well for you, didn't it?
Yeah, I love this game.
Do you know what this game was influenced by?
It wasn't Aliens, was it?
It was, yeah. The James Cameron film Aliens. This was the development team took some subtle inspiration from the Aliens film.
Yeah.
And you can sort of see,
you can see it with the guns and the soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a mess, sir. We're scattered all over this ground.
Yeah, fantastic. The character himself, Master Chief, is actually supposed to be in his 40s from the beginning of the Halo franchise.
Really?
Yeah, so he's probably ancient now. But do you know what who they modelled the character sort of on in attitude-wise?
No.
Clint Eastwood.
Oh right. What? Because he always wears like spacesuits like this.
He does.
Yeah.
He's absolutely renowned for it. Yeah. Dirty Harry, wearing a spacesuit. I'll tell you one little thing about this game is it's originally supposed to be 2.5 times bigger, so it's supposed to have 25 levels versus I think probably the 11 or 12 that it's got now. I think that's a blessing really, because I think you'd have pacing issues if it had too many levels in the game, and I do feel that this game does go on a little bit, especially when you sort of get a little more claustrophobic in the environments.
Yeah.
It's not so open like this. Halo 3 I feel is a more open game than this. Halo 2 I'd never really liked at all. But I'll tell you another thing, which just take this as hearsay, but Halo was originally quite possibly planned for the Dreamcast, because there was a new, Games Magazine snippet which suggested that the game was going to be coming to the Dreamcast.
Right.
And the game was shown off at the 1999 Macworld convention back then, because it was originally going to be also a game for the Macintosh. So it obviously changed format a couple of times in very early development, and it was shown at the E3 of 1999 behind closed doors to select press, developers and stuff like that. And the following year Microsoft had bought Bungie Studios, so the game became exclusive to Microsoft platforms, and only deviating from that when it eventually appeared on the Mac, as I said, in 2003. Do you find the grunts got quite a bit of character to them?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, they do, don't they? You don't ever really feel any fear playing
Oh
this
no,
game
you don't.
at all. It's very sort of tongue-in-cheek at the best of times.
I think you
find.
did more in the second one. with
Yes.
The flood, was
Oh
it?
god, yeah, they were so annoying, weren't they?
Yeah.
So annoying. Really used to irritate the hell out of me, because there were just so many of them as well.
Yeah.
Another feature of this game was it was going to be designed as a real-time strategy game to begin with. So where you had Halo Wars, which came out a lot later.
Second one's due out soon.
I think it's out now.
Oh, it's out now.
Yeah, I
is
believe it is
Oh,
out
nice.
now, yeah. So they eventually did go into the RTS genre, but originally this game was going to be an RTS.
Oh.
Which would be interesting to see what it would have turned out like. Maybe that was when it was talked about being on the Dreamcast, because I'm not sure how the Dreamcast would work this sort of game without the twin sticks, to be honest.
Yeah.
Much to its detriment. But yeah. Do you get over encumbered by enemies quite quickly, I find?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. Which can be a bit
Luckily,
overbearing.
The grunts ain't really tough, are they?
No. I mean, thankfully you've got your energy shield, which regenerates once you've got to a sort of a safe haven again, which is an absolute godsend on the harder difficulties, because you can just sort of fall back a little bit, recharge your shield as it's just done there, and you can take far more damage. Obviously, if you go quite gung-ho with it and just run in, deplete your shield, your health bar will just keep going down, 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 down until the point where you succumb to the gas.
But I mean, you enjoyed it more, didn't you? Because obviously you came across like quite tough moments in this.
Yeah.
But apart from that, you know you can just play it all the way through. You know you can enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's very much a showcase for the original Xbox, which I feel sometimes gets perhaps left behind in retro games discussions, really. I think it's a very underappreciated console in today's world. That's a shame, really, because it does have so many good titles on it, Halo 1 and 2 being key titles and fantastic games that are always worth seeking out if you are looking to collect or play original Xbox games. Christ, you've got a...
Grenade.
Well, they've got the grenade now. Oh! That's pretty cool that you can stick the grenades to them and they run pretty much back into their own people and end up blowing them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Handy.
Yes, very much so. Especially on sort of like the legendary difficulty. I find what the best thing to do is play it in co-op. One of you stays back, one of you runs in with grenades, throws as many grenades as you can down before dying, and then you respawn next to the other person runs in, rinse and repeat and do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, it's a good way of doing it.
I feel like hogging it all. Do you want to play a little bit?
If you fancy talking about it.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Give us some. If you've got any facts for us, then let us know. I mean, sort of merchandise, franchise itself.
Well, current merchandise. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not an expensive game now. I mean, you can pick it up for £1, £2. Somebody might be selling it for £5 if it's like your mint condition. Something so cheap, you can really enjoy it. You know, if you haven't played the Halos before, definitely will enjoy it. The Xbox itself, definitely back then, it was a fantastic machine. I mean, it was the graphically more powerful than their rivals as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was far more powerful.
Yeah. But you know, you could pick it up cheap, but it's not great, and it's been used for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Is that, you know, you find that it's sticking a little bit. Sometimes it crashes, but again, this is disc.
Yeah, I mean, we did find our hardware unit crashed maybe a couple of times when we initially loaded this game up.
That's right.
And the disc wasn't particularly in bad condition, but.
However, I find this version is a lot better than the remastered edition. You just not tip over.
I know.
Keep him alive. He runs them down.
I know. I'm sorry, you just got in my way.
That's what he's like in the 205.
Well, not quite. I'll make sure they're dead. Not stopping now. We haven't got enough time for that.
The beauty about this as well, unlike the other consoles we've been looking at, this is the first console to have a built-in hard drive, which is handy because you don't have to worry about that memory card or pausing it so you can play it the next day.
Was it also the first console in the United States, like the first American-made console?
Since, was it 1996?
Right, okay.
With the Atari Jaguar. Which
Jaguar.
we have mentioned before.
And we won't be covering because we don't have one.
That's right.
Right, okay. I feel what we'll do is pause and talk about it a little bit more. I've had my fun roaming around in the Jeep aimlessly.
Kind of want to carry on.
We haven't got time for it, boy. We haven't got time for it.
We ain't got time.
Was there merchandise to go with this?
Yeah, I mean, franchise absolutely kicked off this. I don't think they expected it with this game either, did they?
I did hear somewhere that they didn't expect it to be a franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what are we on now? 12, 13, 14 games now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
But it absolutely kicked off. I mean, everybody loved it the minute the first one came out, and it only got better.
It did.
But games aside, it got into books. Books, strategy guides, magazines. They sold 11 million copies of it.
So what was that? Comics?
Comics, yeah.
And does that include other literature, books?
Books, yeah. Novel books, yeah.
What about strategy guides?
Strategy guides.
Strategy guides included as well?
I did say all three.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wonder why you're asking me again.
I didn't listen.
This one.
I didn't listen. I was away with the fairies. It's like, oh, look. Reflection of the Xbox.
11 million copies. And yeah, they're just rolling in for the money now.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
absolutely.
thanks to this game.
Well, I don't need to. I mean, they got Microsoft's bumps, haven't they?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That was a great game. I cannot be grumpy about it.
Really?
Yeah, I really can.
Another one?
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. We're going to have to change the name of the show. I think we're just going to have to go with the fact that we're ironic and we're not actually grumpy retro gamers at all. We absolutely love retro games.
Yeah.
Definitely, you've got this by now. Right, so reviews.
Reviews, yeah, let's do it.
Reviews. How are you feeling graphically on the game?
Graphically, for its time, it was superb. We never thought graphics would ever get better than what we saw in this.
Yeah, that's true.
Today's standards, I think it still holds its own. Really do.
Okay, so
I think that's why they re-released it recently as well. So
if I could slim you down to a number, where would you be?
let's hit 7. I'm feeling 7 today.
He likes his 7s. He does like his 7s. I'm gonna give this graphically 7.5. That's where I'm gonna be.
It's just 7.
Oh. Okay then. Gameplay.
Gameplay, that was amazing. So, do I dare take it up to 9?
Oh, he's rich. That's very rich. How are you feeling?
No, it's great.
8? Okay.
Yeah. It's generous, not too generous.
I am going to give it a 7 for gameplay.
Okay.
Sound?
Sound is sound.
Got some nice little drum beats going on in there, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll go 6.
6. I'm going to give you a 6 as well for that.
All cool.
What's your overall rating of this game?
I like the 7s. Let's go for 7.
Okay, a 7, 8 and a 6, 7. It seems alright to me. I've got a 7, a 7 and a 6. So that's a 7.5 for me.
7.5. That's all the house.
Alright. Just trying to introduce something new, okay? Don't be embarrassing me in front of this lot. Right,
Shout-outs.
alright. So he's demanding this evening, I'll tell you what. Right, okay. Couple of shout out to usual establishments where you can buy the game. First of all, Tech Outlet in Plymouth.
Yeah.
Really stepping up their retro game recently, and they've got some absolutely beautiful retro bits and pieces in stock at the
They
moment.
have, yeah. We had a look recently. Quite nice stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, you got Nerds, Pannier Markets. They've got it all as well.
Always keeping good stock, yeah. We've got the Once branches in Plymouth as well. Always worth a look. There is plenty of retro to be had in there. You never know really what you're going to find until you go in there. Variable Aladdin's Cave.
Cool.
So personal shout outs. I'm going to throw one out to Christian Pease, who sits and watches our episodes, which we're really thankful for, Christian. And
we do love you for it, mate.
Truly appreciate that. A few other people that have tuned in and given us a bit of feedback, John Robson being one of them. Also Bob Phillips. If you've stuck to the episode to this point, Bob, thank you very much, and thank you for your input on how long our intro is.
Thanks for that, we'll shorten it down for you.
I think a couple of professional shout outs as well. Our comment section seems to be getting slightly busier than it has been before, which we really appreciate. Any feedback is good for us. So we want to throw a shout out to Chris 16-Bit, the Gamer Geek World, and also the Dusty Joypads, who recently, all three of you guys have been putting comments on our last episode of Cannon Fodder.
Dusty Joypads, I like that.
Joypads, it's good, isn't it?
I like that, yeah.
Quite like that, because you did actually refer to from the Dusty Shelf and the Dusty Console in our last episode. So so really appreciate it, guys, and thank you for your input on our episodes. We have mutual respect for you guys, and it's just good that the gaming communities come together and really appreciate what is really seen as sort of a fine art, really.
I'll do a little shout out if you don't mind.
I would love you to do some shout outs.
We always shout out to our local businesses. We always support for local businesses. One's just come down to Plymouth. There's one in Bristol and Exeter. It's Lucas Hairdressing. I know it's got nothing to do with games and stuff, but I said I'd do a little shout out. Absolutely fantastic place. It's so relaxed. It's so it's some great atmosphere in there.
Did you get your haircut there recently?
I did, yeah.
I was wondering why your hair was so on point. I'm like some sort of scruffy ragamuffin here, hair-wise. But you, on the other hand, look at that. That is a cut and a half. It's taken 5 years off him. Looking 35 now.
It's on Cornwall Street. If you're not quite sure where it is, if you're a retro gamer, you know it's opposite where Game Station used to be. If you like your pasties, a few doors up from Ivor Dooney's, or if you like your breakfasts up from Chinks.
Brilliant.
Pretty much there.
It's pretty much got it sorted, yeah. Yeah, I think it's the old Blue Banana unit, isn't it?
Next to that.
Yes. Yeah, so there, you know roughly where it is now if you know Plymouth. If you're not from Plymouth, it's not Plymouth, Massachusetts, Plymouth, UK. Just too awkward.
I think I'll get quite a lot of Americans ring up our company.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, right, so that basically covers the Xbox for its first episode. We hope you've enjoyed sticking with us for our first glimpse of the console, and we do plan on covering more and more games for it as time moves on. It won't be in such regular rotation as perhaps some of the other consoles we do. We are firm favourites of Mega Drive, Dreamcast, Nintendo 64 and GameCube are our 4 main ones we do love covering.
And we have a lot of games to go through.
We have loads. We sit with us, we're going to get to about 1,000 episodes eventually.
Probably.
So this has been episode 12, still very much fledgling production, and we're going to improve as time goes on. Little things will change subtly with the shows as well. We're taking your input on board, and good or bad, we will look into any queries that you have. Also any particular games you want us to cover, just let us know. Write in the comment section. Subscribe to us as well. We'll happily subscribe back as well. Catch us on our Facebook page. Yeah,
which we will be doing some game reviews on. Games we don't cover, we will be reviewing on our Facebook page.
Absolutely.
Which is MIC Films, Not Being Funny Productions.
Yeah. We're also on Twitter as well. I'm at Forbes London.
I'm at Mike Langerbeer. You can catch us getting gobby to everybody. That's what Twitter's for at the moment.
Pretty much, yeah. Do we know what direction we're going in the next episode?
No idea.
No?
No idea.
You don't
Big
feel-
surprise.
Don't feel like any assassinations or anything like that?
Maybe. Maybe.
Quite possibly.
It'll be a hit, man.
Sharpen up the suits. Excellent. Well, that's us for this episode. I've been Forbes Omden.
I've been Mike Langerbier.
See you next game.
See you next game.